Okay, we are live.
All right, Christina, how you doing? How you doing, everybody? This is Tom. Welcome to Real Talk with Christina and Tom. It
Hello
is
there,
Tuesday.
Tom.
It is Tuesday, so that means it's Transformation Tuesday.
Yay!
And tonight we're going to be talking about nutrition, the the root of all evil.
Everybody's favorite topic, huh, Tom?
Yeah, yeah. Nutrition is the most overlooked and underutilized aspect, I think, of not only a fitness program but our lives. Right, we have this constant battle with food. All of us, at some point, in some way, right? There's guilt associated with it. There's anger. There's resentment. There's all kinds of emotions uh, related to our food. It's wild how that's really transformed in our society, and it's really misunderstood by, I think, the vast majority of people. And we don't realize what food is there for. We go back to our ancestors. What did they eat? They ate so they could function. They ate so they could perform. Now we're also not an agricultural society anymore, so we're not out there for 12 hours a day. Thank goodness, like our ancestors. But our need for food still hasn't changed. The basic function of food is fuel, and we've lost that. So tonight we're going to cover some topics and touch briefly on what is food, what are the components of food, what it provides us, and how we can start making better choices in our life. Because ultimately, that's what it comes down to, right? The bad food is always going to be there. The supermarket's always going to be stocked with foods and colors and bright, crunchy things to grab your attention. But ultimately, it's up to us whether or not we're going to put them in our bodies, right? So let's start out with some of the basics with food, and that is the calorie. Scientific with calories, and it's how much it heats up water and how much time. But we're not going to talk about that nonsense because it's
No.
not important. What you need to know about a calorie is that it is a unit of energy.
End of discussion.
It provides you with, yeah, that's it. It's nothing. You don't need to know anything more about a calorie except it gives you energy. It provides energy, right? All these things we hear about that are tossed around, and some of them are, you know, they're the worst things that you could. Four-letter words, right? Carbohydrates.
Whoa, it's a
Right?
scary
So
word. Tom,
yeah,
you
we
scare me.
yeah. So we get into macronutrients, which are proteins and fats. Macronutrients that we're talking about tonight that will provide us energy, and they have different functions with different needs. And Christina is going to tell you a little bit more about those macronutrients.
Okay, so the majority of our energy, which is really what calories are, and people should just start to, take the word calorie out of your vocabulary at this point because it's been so misused and abused through the years. And instead of saying, calorie restrictions or how much calories you should consume, start thinking about how much energy your body requires to function and start with that. And the bulk of your energy is coming from the macronutrients. The micronutrients basically just help your macronutrients do their job and supplement your body in other ways. Those are the micronutrients are your vitamins, your minerals, antioxidants, and things of that nature. But your macros are where you're getting the bulk of your energy from, and that is your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats. So carbohydrates are nothing more than a small chain of sugar. Okay, and it's how they break down in your digestive body where your energy comes from. Okay, and it should be your primary source of energy. Proteins have other purposes, as do fats. As far as energy goes, protein should be the last source that you're using for energy. It really is supposed to be doing other things in your body. So your primary should be carbohydrates, and really your fats. If you get to your fats as you know where your energy is being used from, you're going to have some problems in your body. So let's talk about the role of carbohydrates in our body. It is for fuel during physical activity. And we're not just talking about when you're jumping around in a Zumba class. We're talking about any activity that you do when you get up out of bed. That's an activity. You know, when you're walking and doing laundry, that's activity. It may not be high impact, high intensity activity like your aerobics class or strength training session, but it's still physical activity and you're burning calories. You need calories in
Hey,
order to do those.
hey, Christina, I also want to mention only once you wake up, take physical activity, take calories and carbohydrates for fuel. Also requires fuel. You
Yes.
burn hundreds and hundreds of calories
While
when you
sleeping.
sleep, right?
Yep.
So that's why when we start to get into our workout Wednesdays and we start talking about exercise, you start talking about your post workout, that period of time, and there's certain types of workouts that are going to give you the most bang for the buck to provide you with that post calorie burn. That it's called EPOC, and once you're working out, you're training the right ways with the right types of programs. You're going to keep on burning calories, not only a lot of calories during your workout, but after your workout. And if you keep doing that day after day, when you're sleeping, man, you're going to keep on burning fire. That your metabolism is a fire, and I don't want to go off track, so we'll get back right onto our macronutrients. But I just wanted to mention we're still burning too.
All right, so we know that carbohydrates are used to fuel the body during high intensity exercise. They actually spare protein, okay, so that this way protein can be preserved for muscle mass during exercise. That's why you want to work off of off of your energy, your calories that you're consuming from your carbs as your primary source of energy in your body that you're using, okay? It also fuels our central nervous system, guys, which by the way, that's your brain. Carbs are for brain power. So that's a pretty important thing, right? There, Tom, our brain power. So you want to make sure that you are consuming them. We are going to be doing sessions, other segments down the road on nutrition where we're going to break down each macronutrient in more detail, each micronutrient in more detail, how to figure out what calories are needed for your body, just to sustain the energy levels for where you are at as far as your age, height, weight, gender, and things of that nature, and how physically active you are. So don't worry. We don't want you to get overwhelmed thinking, how are you going to figure this all out on your own? You're going to be learning every week a piece of it, and we're going to simplify it and not overwhelm you. But let's talk about what proteins do. So guess what protein's important for? Tissue structure. Kind of important, right? We want to keep our ligaments, our hair, our nails, our muscle, everything nice and healthy, our tendons, right? Our blood plasma, parts of the cell plasma membrane. How about metabolic or transport or hormone systems? Protein has a role in that. It regulates our metabolism. Okay, it keeps also our acid and base pH balance in check on it. So proteins are important to incorporate, and we said earlier they are what helps with muscle mass during physical activity. So you want to make sure you're consuming the right amount of protein for your body type, okay? Because keep in mind, we don't all need the same thing. And we will let you know how to figure out how much protein your body needs down the road. We don't want you getting overwhelmed tonight. So another one would be fats, energy reserve. Remember what I said earlier, you do not necessarily want to be working off of this one on it, but it should kick in before protein or anything else, and it will. But you don't want that to happen, which is why you need to consume the right amount of carbs to use as your primary source of energy. Okay, it protects your vital organs. Hey guys, We want our organs protected, okay? So it's important to consume the right fats in our diet. It also helps with insulation, how your body deals with temperature changes. It also helps the vitamins do their job. It helps them transport to where they need to go to do what they need to do. All right. Let's talk about, Tom, you have any questions or you want to make any comments before I jump into what food sources they should go into?
Yeah, no, just a quick thing about fat. Fat has gotten such a bad rap
Yeah.
over the last decades that we've gone on into this um, low fat mentality where we want to minimize the fat. Fat's not the issue. Fat is really not the problem, right? There's a lot of other things that we can. It's a long discussion, right? There is fat obviously plays a role in obesity and all those things, but there's a bigger issue. If you're worrying about being obese, hitting those overweight levels, then it's more than just one thing. But fat is so important in everything that we do. We need it. All those things that Christina talked about was absolutely true. But the important thing that I want to just get across is that as as society has made it sound. So we'll get more into that, and once you start figuring out where you should get your calories from and approximately how much, all those things will figure themselves out. And if you're getting them from the right food sources, then everything will kind of fall into line. Um, I work with teenagers, and so fat is a big issue, especially for our young ladies. And when you're starting to deal with some eating disorders, you start to get into those low body fat ranges, and things don't start working properly. So you have an effect on their menstrual cycles, the way and your brain. They don't get enough energy. It's not able to function, especially as for students. You need to have enough fuel, and your carbs, your fats, your proteins are all providing fuel. It's sometimes confusing. Well, we're just burning carbohydrates. You're just burning fat. No, you're burning all the time. Activities that kind of shifts from one main source. It's like having three fuel tanks, and sometimes one fuel tank is working more than the other. Sometimes it's pretty balanced. It all depends on the intensity of the exercise or the activity that you're engaged in. That could be sitting in class. That could be at your desk at work, or in a high stress situation on a sales pitch. So, but we'll get deeper into that in further episodes.
Yeah, we'll definitely cover it in more detail. But remember, what's important is that fats got a bad rap, but so do carbs. And carbs really should be our primary source of energy. Each of them has their own role in the energy system on it. So you don't want to deprive your body of any of them. Okay. Keep in mind, guys, when we're giving you tips so that you have a balanced approach to this. If you're looking for something that's going to cure a chronic disease or condition, or you're going to start to implement any changes, you should check with your physician before making them, especially if you have a chronic disease. And if you're looking for your nutrition to cure any chronic disease you have or aid in that, you want to see a registered dietitian so that you can get something very specific to your unique needs and makeup, okay? Everything we talked about briefly, I did post a blog on CristinaRamillo.com that breaks down the carbs, the proteins, the fats, and all of the micronutrients. So you can check that out. Also, there is a link that is on the bottom of this video that it will redirect you to our webpage that has further breakdown as far as sources and how much of each you should consume, and some other tools for you guys, because we're offering you a free tool at the end of the segment. It is a food log, because we don't expect you to be able to pull everything together tonight off of what we give you, but we basically expect you to be able to take from this and understanding that calories are nothing more than energy systems, and switch that in your vocabulary, that carbs, proteins, and fats all have important roles in the body. We're talking about how our systems work, brain functions, tissues, ligaments, tendons, you know, heart health, how our body deals with temperature changes. I mean, these are organs, the safety of our organ. These are these are very important things. So food is really meant for something other than what this world and society has attached to it, which is to deal with emotions and to deal with events in life. It's not, we're not supposed to have emotional relationships with food. A lot of people do, but we're not supposed to. It is for our survival, guys. And if you heard what I said, cure chronic conditions or aid in prevention of chronic conditions, that should tell you how important food is. It is the best medicine out there, basically. It can help you prevent reaching certain chronic conditions or aid you when you're in a situation where you have a chronic condition. So food is important, guys. All right. So let's talk about carbs and, where you get them. So grains, but you want to choose mainly whole grains. I said mainly because we don't expect you to eat only whole grains, okay? But you want to make the majority of your consumption of grains whole, okay? Dairy, low fat cheeses, non-fat cheese, but hard cheeses, you can go with regular fat cheese. The hard cheese is probably your best cheese. The soft cheeses are higher in fats that are not so good for us. Okay. Fruit, whole fruits, fruit juices, also good source of carbs. Most people don't think of that. They just think pasta and bread when they think carbs. Okay. Think outside the box. So let's think about proteins now, right? Some good sources of proteins. You have beans, lentils, soy products, peanuts, nuts in general. Whole grains like quinoa. Quinoa has a lot of protein in it, guys. Brown rice, seeds, vegetables have protein. Broccoli has a lot of protein in it, as well as calcium, which your body also needs. And then your animal sources, okay? Fats. Where do we get our fats? From oils, from seeds, from nuts, from meat, from fish, from dairy. Some of the fats also come in the micronutrients that we consume. So those are your vitamins. So, Tom, you want to jump in with anything before we go into micronutrients?
Yeah, you talk about whole grains. We start talking about wheat, and there's such another topic that is really it's like a firestorm out there and has taken again a big hit, is gluten. And we hear this big thing about wheat gluten and it's terrible, and I'm gluten free and we're dairy free and sugar free, and are you nutrient free too? Gluten. When you talk about gluten, the science has proven that there's 1% of the population issue, celiac disease. 1%. And there's a low percentage has a gluten sensitivity, some issue with wheat gluten and their body digesting and the processing. I've tried going gluten free, and it's very challenging. It's very, very hard. And it's really unnecessary because you're missing out on so many other well-rounded sources of food that provide so many other important nutrients. So not to go too crazy into the gluten thing, but just be careful on what you're hearing out there. And he said, well, you got this issue and that issue, and well, try this way. You got to really research, and like Cristina said, you need to find out for yourself what are some of the issues that you are experiencing, and talking to a professional that can guide you in the right way, not what you read or you read online or you saw somebody on TV talking about it, right? It's not necessarily going to be right for you. It might be right for somebody, but not necessarily right for you, right? So just be careful with some of the things that are popping up. that are the popular methods.
And notice that I said whole grains, not whole wheat. Okay, whole grains, guys. Because that was another craze that went. Everybody switched over to whole wheat, everything, and then found out, well, no, actually, a more healthier approach would be incorporating multiple grains
Yeah.
into your diet. So, like Tom said, I want you guys to be careful. So remember, unless you are looking for your nutrition plan to cure a chronic condition, in which case you need to go to a registered qualified dietitian who can create a unique plan given all of your chemical makeup and your lifestyle. Okay, then we are giving you general information that is good for everyone. We also suggest highly that you do go get an evaluation from your physician prior to any major change. So if you're trying to incorporate these changes to lose weight, two things: speak to your physician and speak to a qualified personal trainer. Okay. Because your personal trainer has an ethical responsibility to give you the basic breakdown of nutrition and how to incorporate it for health and fitness purposes. It is our job. Okay, so we should be talking not only about physical activity, but what you're putting into your body so that the time you spend with us is more effective and you are more likely to reach and sustain your goals. Make sure you get educated along the way. And like we said already a few times, you're getting future segments where we're breaking this all down for you so don't get overwhelmed. Okay, so now let's talk about micronutrients. And we're not going to give you a complete breakdown of every single vitamin today because it is just too overwhelming. But we do want you to know that there are vitamins and minerals and antioxidants that their job is basically to help protein, carbs, and fats do their job. And they are not giving you any energy. Basically, they don't provide you with energy. That's what your macronutrients are there for. But they provide you with other things that help your body heal and prevent some chronic conditions. So there's a lot of studies on that. And there is no argument one way or the other as to which one is more important. All they know is that when you have a balanced approach and incorporate vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants into your diet on a regular basis, you are more likely to live a healthy life and avoid and prevent certain chronic conditions. So, we're going to name a few, but again, we're going to have segments down the road that are going to talk about each of them in detail. So, don't panic. We have our vitamin B1, we have vitamin B2, vitamin B6. These things are important. They help release the energy in the food we consume. Okay. Good sources of B's are whole grains, dried beans, peas, peanuts, animal proteins. The B2s, they help build and maintain your body's tissues. That's super important. Again, you get them for your whole grains, green and yellow vegetables, animal proteins. Guys, you see a pattern here? We are naming these sources that you should be getting these vitamins and minerals from, and they are not coming to you in a pill or powder form. Supplements, which is something we'll cover down the road because there's a lot of controversy out there and very little science to back up supplements, but they are to supplement what's already in place. So this is important. One way or the other, this should be in place first. Take all the multivitamins you want, but if you're taking them without having your food down packed first, you have a problem. You're not even using your supplement correctly. All right. So vitamin B6, here it goes. It helps develop the nervous system. Again with that nervous system. Production of blood, helps break down protein and glucose to provide energy for the body. Some sources: potatoes, chickpeas, yeast, nuts, okay, fish, rice, bananas. Your B12s, they promote proper growth and development of that nervous system again. Fortified cereals, nutritional yeast, algae, animal products. These are important things. Again, all food related. All right, vitamin C helps your growth hormones, helps build strong gums, teeth, and bones. It serves as an antioxidant in your body. Good sources: cabbage, berries, peppers, and citrus fruits. Okay. Folic acid helps build DNA and protein, helps maintain intestinal tract, aids in bone growth. Those are all important things, by the way. And here comes prevents nervous system birth defects. So that's also super important for our expected mothers or ladies who would like to be expecting one day to incorporate. Good sources: dark green leafy vegetables, yeast, wheat germ. Okay, vitamin A, its primary function: vision, health, healthy skin, healthy hair. Where do you get it? Animal products on it. The body can make A. Okay. Also note, while we're talking about the body can make A, most of a lot of vitamins, the only source of getting these vitamins and minerals are through our food. Our body doesn't necessarily produce it itself. The only exception to the rule is D. Vitamin D is made through our skin, and it has to do with the sun. So if you have low vitamin D levels, there's no supplement in the world that's really going to raise that. Get outside and go play outdoors. Okay, have some physical activity outdoors. You need some sunshine in your life. Okay.
Which is a great majority of us are vitamin D deficient. So if you haven't gotten a physical lately, please get one. Number one, and two, there's probably a good chance that you're deficient in vitamin D.
Probably.
So that's come to where we are in our society, where everybody stays inside and doesn't go outside and engage in physical activity anymore. I can't even fathom growing up when I grew up the deficiency. That'd be like, what? What do you mean you don't go outside? We lived outside. You couldn't get us in.
Well, you're talking to a girl that goes off-roading and likes to go play in the woods. So I know my vitamin D levels are in check. Yeah. But I like to play outside. So I do suggest that everybody, and I'm not saying go off-roading, although if you do like to go off-roading, hit me up because I could always use some company when I'm outside playing. All right, or go hiking or go camping. I know that that's not everybody's thing, but there are things that you can do outdoors. You can do them with your family. You can do them with your friends that, are quality time kind of things, and will get you some physical activity points and get you out there in the sun, okay? Get a break away from your gadgets a little bit, all right, guys? Unless you're using your gadget for work and it's working hours, put it down. Put it down and go outside and play a little while. All right. So like I said, A is for vision, animal products. You can get it from things like carrots, sweet potatoes, and red and orange type of vegetables. D is the sun, okay? And that's important. It promotes strong teeth and bone health. You get it from mushrooms, dairy, fortified cereals, cod liver oil, tuna, salmon, egg yolks. And mainly, and the main source of it is sunlight, okay? Because it's very minimum amounts you're getting from your food sources on D. Biggest producer, the sun. Go outside and play. Okay. Vitamin E. Its function is to prevent damage to your cell membranes. It protects vitamin A. Hey, they play well together. Okay? They play well together. It aids in blood production. Kind of important, guys. All right? Good sources: seeds and nuts and vegetable oils. Vitamin K aids in blood clotting. Guys, K plays really well with D. Okay? They play well together. They help each other do each other's job. Good source: green leafy vegetables produced by bacteria in the large intestines. I can't wait till we do the segment on bacteria in the intestines. My favorite. I'm going to be using the whiteboard for that because I like to draw on that one so that I can really drill in the importance of gut health. Okay. Calcium maintains teeth and bones, helps your blood clot, helps the nerves and muscles function in your body. Good sources: your dairy, dark green vegetables, sardines, clams, oysters, almonds are some good sources over there. We have a large list of this. By the way, guys, if you want a more detailed list than what the link sends you to, let me know because we have a 14-page document that breaks it down that you guys can get your hands on. All right. So potassium It regulates water balance in your cells. It helps the nerves function. It's important to your heart rhythm. Kind of important, guys. Good food sources: oranges, bananas, cereals, potatoes, dried beans. Sodium. It regulates, sodium has a bad rep too. And I am a firm believer that we need to watch how much sodium we consume, because sodium is naturally in everything that we consume. So we shouldn't be adding any sodium to our food. However, it does play a role, so you do need to get a minimum amount of sodium into your body for your body to function properly. It regulates water balance and it stimulates your nerves. Okay, so now what is the appropriate intake? Well, again, we said earlier in the segment, it really depends on your body, the type, the age, the gender, how active you are. They say on average 3,000 milligrams a day. Again, that's on average. So don't take that to heart without doing some homework on your specific, needs. Now,
And
iron.
I'd like to mention something about that, Christina. You know, if you look on, I forget the brand. We all have the salt. It's got the ship on the side of it. I can't remember, Morton's salt, I think. And if it said, you read on the side of it, it says fortified with iodine. And it's very interesting because now we've gotten to this, in our society where everything's got to be healthy in this. We got this Himalayan rock salt and this all kinds of special fancy salts. They don't have iodine, a very key micronutrient that we need. And it's another one of those vitamins that is showing up as deficient, like vitamin D, because because sodium has gotten such a bad rap. Nobody was using it at all.
Yep.
And so they're missing a key component to our body's ability to function properly with iodine. Mm-hmm. So check the salt that you're using. Be mindful of what, how much you're using in your cooking and your preparation and so forth. But see if you're just using that rock salt and it's not containing iodine, you're not sure where you're getting. If you're not eating enough leafy greens and some of those really dark green vegetables, your meats, providing you with that iodine stuff, you're not getting a well-balanced diet, then you're probably going to be deficient in a lot of these. And I just want to say, Cristina has a whole list, and we have that whole document of all the vitamins and minerals that we talk about. We can go on and on and on. I mean, there's encyclopedias and volumes of books written about specific vitamins. And if you've noticed the theme throughout Cristina talking is that it's come from a variety of foods. So that means that we need to hit all those major sources of macronutrients, all those major sources of carbohydrates we talked about. We're talking about the whole grains. We're talking about fruits and vegetables, right? The nuts and that we've been talking about. Also with your proper protein sources, from your fish to your meats, your eggs, and then you're getting your fats. You're going to get a lot of your fats from your proteins as well as the oils and so forth. So if you're incorporating all of these different food sources, then you're going to get pretty much the vitamins and minerals that you need. You're going to get enough of those micronutrients. There might be a few things here or there, depending on your personal situation. That's something that you and your doctor have to discover, and only blood work will really find out whether or not you're deficient in anything. So the key to all this, and it can be summed up, our whole talk tonight can be summed up, is it's about variety and getting a well-balanced infusion of nutrients from a wide variety of sources. And that's really the key. That's the key to all of it. That's the key to not only our bodies functioning properly, our minds and our brains functioning properly, but also our happiness. And ultimately, that's what this is about. That's why we're here, right? And on this earth, is to be happy. And so if we're constantly struggling with having this fight with food back and forth with, I'm no good, I ate that piece of cake at the party, or I ate too much of this, or I'm not eating, you're restricting your body from eating certain nutrients, well, guess what? You're going to start causing mental health issues. And being deficient in certain vitamins and nutrients can lead or can contribute to mental health issues. And science is discovering that more and more. Right? Being deficient in certain things can contribute to mental health issues. So really, again, it goes back to having a variety of foods so we get the infusion of these nutrients. So thank you.
Thanks, Tom. And I do agree with Tom, but I want to just wrap up the micronutrients today. And like Tom said, there is a lot of information out there, and we will get into vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, and free radicals, and all those important subject matters through other segments down the road, because there really is a lot of information to cover. So let's talk about iron, because that's another big one that we hear. Iron forms our blood cells, guys. It transports oxygen throughout the body. That's kind of super important. Where do we get that? From dark green vegetables, whole grains. There goes that whole grain again. Whole grains such as brown rice, quinoa. Okay. How about beans and lentils, nuts and seeds, dried fruits, animal proteins? Zinc, another big one that we hear about. It aids in the transport of carbon dioxide, aids in healing wounds, forms enzymes. Where do we get it? Whole grains. Guys, do we see a pattern here with whole grains and how important carbohydrates are to our body? Dairy and beans again. Water. Let's talk about water, because everybody says hydrate, right? Why? Here's why you have to hydrate. It moistens the tissues, okay, such as the ones in your mouth, eyes, and nose, guys. It protects the body's organs and tissues in general. It helps prevent constipation. People who are having issues, okay, with constipation, are you getting enough water in? Okay, you may have issues for other reasons. I'm not saying that's your only reason, but that's a good place to start. Are you hydrating? Are you getting enough water in? Helps dissolve the minerals and other nutrients to make them more accessible to your body. It regulates body temperature. It lubricates your joints. It puts less of a burden on your kidneys and your liver by flushing out waste products. And it carries the nutrients and oxygen to your cells. So, water has right there, I listed 8 things that you probably never hear attributed to water, but serve as a major function in your body, an important function in your body. So, like we've said before, and this is what we're going to wrap up with tonight. And we're going to talk about other key facts down the road. And, we want you to know that a healthy, balanced, well-rounded diet can actually help improve your health and prevent chronic conditions. That should be your primary source for all your energy and your primary source of all vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. That supplements and all of this stuff is meant to supplement something that's already in place. So even if you're a firm believer in nutraceuticals, okay, and I'm not anti-nutraceutical, but there's not enough scientific proof out there. There's not enough independent government data to say that these statements are valid on any of these supplements, okay? And the only reason people who are actually getting results from them are getting results is because these are the same people who are physically active and have well-balanced diets, guys. So they would be getting results regardless because everything else is already in place, okay? Don't look for a product to do the job of what food and you should be doing in your life, okay? It's not a replacement. So, well balanced, everything included. Yes, it's to your unique needs, but start with the basics. If you get overwhelmed, like we said, we have the documents with tons of information for you. We can point you to the right sources. We have the evaluation tool. We have the second link underneath the video is a free evaluation that we are giving you if you watched us live or if you watched us on our uploaded blog or Facebook, okay? you want to get evaluated. Call in, let us give you the calculations based on your age, gender, height, okay, and your activity levels of a good place for you to start. It's free, guys, so take us up on it, okay? Don't get overwhelmed. The first link there is a 72-hour food blog. Why don't you keep things simple and start by tracking what you actually are putting into your body and then taking a look at it? And if I were you guys, I would track for 72 hours. I would go on that second link and I would schedule so that November 11th, when we're offering free evaluations to our followers, you can squeeze the time in because it's 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., guys. That's not a lot of time. So you want to make sure you get to be one of those lucky people that get squeezed into this day where we will spend a good half hour to 45 minutes with you going over your specific details so we can give you more of a unique place to start and not such a general place to start, okay? But track so that when you call, we can actually see how you're eating. You'll get the most out of that free consultation if you do that. That's pretty much all I have, Tom, unless you have anything for them. Just want to say stay tuned to more information on Transformation Tuesdays.
Yeah, no, just to wrap up what you said, the 72-hour food log is a great way to evaluate where you're at and get a better understanding. And talking to a professional, talking to one of us, talking to a nutritional expert, whatever it may be, just have a better picture of what you're putting into your body. And then when you want to start making changes, you start making changes gradually. You know, if you try to make everything all at once in one shot, and you're trying to add the exercise and add the nutrition all at once, it can get very overwhelming. So unless you're under the guidance of a professional, just start making changes very slowly and start take this out and then add this. And eventually take two things out and replace it with these two things. And really comes down to just keeping things simple, right? Keeping things simple. It's not as complicated as we tend to make things. Make good choices, eat a variety of foods, get moving, enjoy, you know, Cristina can tell you, she's got some amazing recipes for super nutritious foods. MBS provides amazing recipes for highly nutritious foods that will give you and contribute to giving you energy throughout the entire day. And they taste awesome. Listen, we all love food, right? There's two people right here who love food.
I'm a foodie, guys. I'm a foodie. So your recipes are not depriving you. Our recipes do not deprive you of anything, as Tom can tell you.
No. They're intense, super intense in flavor and nutrients. So there's ways to eat well, but to also satisfy that desire for something that tastes good. I mean, listen, yeah, you can lose weight by eating cardboard, but it's not going to taste very good, and you're not going to be really motivated to continue doing it for a long time. And ultimately, that's what this is. This is about making whole lifestyle changes for the rest of your life, not just for a couple weeks or a couple months till you hit, you have a wedding to go to, or you're going on vacation, or whatever it may be. This is about a lifestyle. It's about for the rest of your life. So, making some small changes, gradually making bigger changes, ultimately leading to you getting to the place where you're happy, you feel comfortable where you're at, and you're happy with your decisions. And we can help you get there. MBS can help you. Give us a call, reach out to us, join us on our November 11th, so we can get your evaluation done, and we'll help you accomplish your goals.
And just keep in mind, every Tuesday we're bringing you a segment that's nutrition based. Okay, so follow us. If anything, follow us on Tuesdays. We're here Monday through Friday with different topics, and you can check out on our Facebook page and websites what the themes are for Monday through Friday. But Tuesdays are all nutrition based. So we are bringing you everything nutrition related. And at the end of each segment, we're offering you a free tool and activity to help you along the way. We are breaking it down so that we are giving you a little bit of information that's focused on one area. You can start implementing it. We're giving you the tools to implement it with. And then the following week, we're going to follow up with the next step to incorporate. And do take advantage of the things that we offer for free, guys. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Tom, thank you for joining me on Real Talk.
Thank you, Cristina.
We'll see you guys tomorrow night for Workout Wednesdays.
Peace.
Night, Tom.